Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much indeed for this kind invitation. We are always very happy to talk, especially throughout Central and Eastern Europe, where we think we have a lot to do. Although all around Europe, we define ourselves as the European Association dedicated to energy transition, actually the European Association involving the cities in their energy transition. We were established in 1990, which was a time when there was not such a boom of all kinds of activities and networks. We have heard quite a lot of information today, and we will be hearing quite a lot today. So at that time, a few cities established this network, and by today we have grown quite a large network. Our philosophy is the low-energy city with a high quality of life for all. This is what we are talking about also today in this project. And by investing in sustainable energy, we can become sustainable, smart, and resilient. It's very trendy today to make these 3D, 4D things. So we have also a 3D vision. We say that we need to democratize the energy system, which means we need to give power to local authorities. We need to give power to the ordinary citizens becoming not only consumers but also producers, so-called prosumers of energy. We need to devolve the decision-making power to cities. They have to be an integral part of the energy system, also as decision makers, and we need to divest from fossil fuels and reinvest into renewable energy, because this is very often the main backlog in developing energy efficiency when a country actually subsidizes fossil fuel. So we need to stop that. That's very harmful. Our network is spreading over through 30 countries. We involve some 1,000 cities, either directly or via their networks. In Croatia, we are very happy. We have 6 member cities, including Zagreb, Rijeka, Karlovac, Ivanić-Grad, and we are hoping to have even more innovative cities from Croatia to demonstrate their key actions. So we are from very small towns, from some 20,000 inhabitants, to very large cities like Paris and others we have in our network. Our governance is made by a board. It's led currently by Heidelberg in Germany. And we have cities from Sweden, Bielsko-Biała, from Poland, from France, from Latvia on our board. So we are always happy to include active cities. What we do, very quickly, we evidently aim to influence European decision-making concerning cities, which is meaning that we are in daily contact with the European institutions. We also try to respond to all public consultations. We have position papers. We have strategic partnerships at the European level, but also national levels. And we do evidently projects involving as many members of us as possible. We can say that at least half of our members are involved in our projects. We are leading also the Office of the Covenant of Mayors since its establishment. I was starting at the very beginning, and now a colleague of mine is heading the office. And we are also a supporting structure for the Covenant of Mayors, and we have some 20 EU projects in parallel, including projects under Interreg and Horizon 2020. We have also campaigns, just like Display, which are targeting buildings' energy efficiency. This is currently the largest public database for buildings data and public buildings data. Why we are here today, and you know probably very well this slide, and sorry for coming back to this old slide, because this was a slide when the EU's energy security strategy was made, but I think it's still very topical today because we are still importing in the EU, well, subject to the oil prices, it's varying, but approximately 1 billion euro worth of fossil fuel a day, which is huge. If we could keep this money at home, if we could invest in this money into local renewable energies, we could have evidently generating GDP at home and having local employment. And now I'm getting to the our topic, and I have been already talking about the energy transition, but what does it mean concretely, the energy transition? We have heard this many times, but it's a change of paradigm, it's a change of words when we talk about energy. Instead of talking about a supply-oriented energy economy, we start to focus on demand. If we need less energy, evidently we need to ensure less supply. Instead of talking of megawatts, we started to talk of megawatts, of energy saving, from fossils, the focus going into renewables, from carbon to carbon-free, from vertical and centralized systems, we go to horizontal and decentralized system. From big technologies, from small and soft technologies, from consumers, this is what I mentioned at the beginning, consumers starts to be also prosumers, like producers and consumers, the citizens. And with also different kinds of jobs, from mines and utilities workers, we go towards building and management jobs. So it's a transformation of the employment structure as well. And the focus from the state should go towards local authorities and other decentralized market actors. I know that some of our countries are not going into this direction, but when we need to talk about the energy transition, it all has to happen. At Energy Cities, we have developed our 30 proposals, which are actually growing, in around 5 core themes. And without going into the very detail, because it's a, I can tell you, it's a vast database, not only of the proposals, but a lot of actions, cities' actions gathered around all these proposals. And I will just highlight a few of these, and I will invite you, of course, to check it on our website. It's a huge database. It's not only a downloadable brochure. You can, of course, download it as well. But I hope that besides FOSTER-REG, it will also help your urban regeneration to foster the sustainable energy uptake. So the 5 core areas we gathered these examples around: empowering local actions. This is the first one. So as I mentioned to you, instead of central one brain, we go towards dispersed multi-brain. So we need to involve citizens, we need to involve local actors, we need also their brain and their action when we talk of, for example, of energy efficiency. Just to highlight some of these proposals, we have 8 proposals here around for example, taking local control of energy supply. This is what I highlighted here. You know very well that a city has several roles in energy management. Traditionally, cities are energy consumers. They are consuming energy in their buildings, in their urban transport. But more and more, they are becoming also suppliers. And as suppliers of their district heating system, especially here in Central and Eastern Europe, they are developing cogeneration. And when doing so, they can also regulate. They are also regulators. How they allow, for example, putting solar panels on the roofs. So besides consumers, suppliers, regulators, they are the closest to their citizens. They are also motivators. They can be also motivators to their citizens. So when a city can take local control of energy supply, and I'm saying this because we have seen that many of the local utilities have been privatized, especially in our region. So I say in our region because I'm also coming from Hungary, from the next door. And when a city takes back this local control, they can really spare millions when keeping money at home and when using this rationally. For instance, you can see here, and I won't read out all the examples. You can take a look in our website. When a city takes local control, for example, here in Christchurch, our only out of Europe member in New Zealand, after the earthquake, they have started to develop a massive district heating system, and they have made considerable savings, as you can see, some 500,000 euro per year in terms of operation costs, plus some also in terms of due to the investment. And they used also the revenue from the sale of carbon credits to finance this project. So very reasonable step from a local authority. Some other proposals like eradicating local fuel poverty comes under this proposal, under this group, or preparing an energy transition action plan. Knowing our territory's resources and flows, it's really crucial to start any kind of energy management. We all know that. What goes in, what comes out, what are our wastes. And when we simply have a well-working metabolism, a well-working urban metabolism, where we know the inflows and outflows, we can use it in a circular way, and this is the when we speak about the circular economy. So here we have, again, some 7 proposals. The first one is knowing the territory's metabolism so that we can optimize the local potential. We have a proposal here from Kaunas, from Lithuania, who have established an energy team, who have started this systemic review of the energy activities, of the resources consumed, and identification of energy savings potential, and continuously controlling the success of the investments via audits, and really taking care of the ownership. So establishing an ownership is really the first thing to start. Preparing a local heat plan, which is now also requirement of the Energy Efficiency Directive, action plan, or other proposals like creating or implementing a territorial bio-waste action plan are all parts of this proposal. Rethinking finance. When we simply import energy, we spend energy in an exogenous way. We simply spend money, but not reusing the money from the savings potential. So we need to rethink finance in a way, in a circular way, if I might say, where we regenerate the savings, for example, in a revolving fund, and reuse this money. This was made under the first proposal, Keep Money Spent on Energy Near Home, by Almada in Portugal, who has established a Less Carbon Climate Fund, which is a very smart fund combining savings from energy invested by the municipality, combining with regional funds, cohesion funds, generating in some 500,000 euro fund. And they have realized a vast number of projects out of it. Just a few to mention here, for example, the tele-management system in public lighting, which resulted in a 40% drop in energy consumption, or the solar hot water, which resulted in a savings around 40,000 euros. I won't go into details because all these examples are available online, but you can check it here. The fourth group of proposals inventing a new local governance structure. Francisco has mentioned the silo mentality. This is one part of it, evidently. So instead of a very vertical structure, a hierarchical top-down structure, we go more into the holarchic or organization where everybody is connected, an internet type of thing. And one proposal here from Poland, from Bielsko-Biała, who created also an energy management office working in a very cross-departmental way, and once again, taking ownership, I just can't emphasize it enough, which results in savings at the municipality. So here you can read out the proposals. And finally, the final group, the fifth group, is the urban planning, and as a different way of looking at planning our cities. Instead of a one-centered city, we go even more towards poly-centered cities, also to reduce the need for mobility. So we need to reduce urban sprawl, which is one of the major source of pollution in cities. Yeah, the picture represents very well. And here one of the proposals which are actually ensuring that neighborhoods are 100% renewable, a proposal from Heidelberg, where they start to develop more and more 100% renewable districts. For example, here the Bahnstadt district, which not only looking at, just like Foster-Reg, not only looking at the energy aspect, but also the mobility aspects. And this represents very well this polycentric development of a city. Okay, I stop here because I see the notes, and thank you very much for your attention. You can discover more examples here, and you can also contact me. Thank you.